Hello and welcome to another update video about Render. Render currently pushes quite strongly here to the upside, and anybody who followed yesterday's video and the days before knew about this trend reversal area that could be relevant for a bullish direct breakout in a 5-wave move to the upside. So first of all, let's take a look at the bigger context. We're overall looking at this still as a bullish scenario, but a leading diagonal, which is generally difficult to forecast. So we need to be aware that there could be, movements that we don't expect. There could be pullbacks where we don't necessarily expect them. There could be a lot of up and down. That typically is what, this is how a diagonal pattern is characterized. So we have here a wave 1 to the upside, a wave 2, a wave 3 in a 3-wave structure, a 4 and a 5. Now, the thing is, at some point this will be over, but with diagonal patterns, they run until they get exhausted. So that's what it makes so difficult. It doesn't really have a target. An ending diagonal, yes, because you have the waves before that give you a clue. But in a leading diagonal, really best evidence you have, or best pivot points, structures and everything are these trend lines. Because in diagonals, the price often adheres to trend lines. Now in this scenario, we assume we are in the wave 5. And in the wave 5, we're looking at an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave because of the diagonal structure. So it could be that this was the wave 1. That's currently the assumption on the 21st of May high. That we came down in a WXY structure in a wave B. But for me, this is still a bit too weak. So this was then, an A wave, yeah. A B wave, and we could now be rallying here in the C wave. This is not necessarily my primary expectation. I would still like to see another low. The reason is that this B wave, if it was a B wave and if it was complete, was very, very shallow, very weak. Okay, so it's not deep enough really. Well, it is deep enough. Yeah, B waves can react. This was the 38.2 retracement. I showed you that yesterday. But it's just not ideally what you would expect in a B wave. Now you need to know, if you know Elliott wave, you know that B waves, they don't really have a very clear target. They can be short, they can be long. So in this case, it might have been a short one. That's why we said in one of the previous videos, okay, we had probably here, or possibly, a leading diagonal in a wave 1. And then here a wave 2 support. This is of course a tradable area. And even though not the primary expectation that we go up from here, as I often say, the market doesn't care about my expectation. Therefore, I often give you a bullish and a bearish case, and I often say, and it's a great example for that. It's a great example how Elliott wave works, because I often say that don't trade the count, don't trade the primary expectation necessarily. What is important is when trading Elliott wave is to trade the pivot points that the likely scenarios reveal. So both pivot points of the primary and the alternative count are important for trading. This here was a pivot point that worked nicely. So a trend reversal area for a wave 2 pullback with a further rally to come, okay? So a wave 1 to the upside, a wave 2 to the downside, possibly now in a 3rd wave rally. And again, even though not the primary expectation, doesn't mean it shouldn't be traded. Yeah, if you trade, that's up to you anyway, but just try to combine this with a bit of education. I often say, you find that on Insta and Twitter and in the channel membership as well. Don't trade the count, trade the pivots that the counts reveal. That's the true benefit of the work. It's not the crystal ball that tells you, okay, price will go up or go down. It is the pivot points, the support areas, the resistance areas where reward to risk is favorable. And this was, of course, the case here. That's why I put it on the chart. 5 waves up in a leading diagonal. Again, not reliable, therefore only highlighted in orange as a higher risk one. So it came down in 3 waves and might have done a wave 1, a wave 2. This could be a 3 of 3. And the overall wave 3 could be done at the 1.618 extension at 292. This would be great to get there to around about 290. Bear in mind, there is strong resistance probably around $2.90 anyway. So this yellow count should take it above resistance. If that happens, we have a confirmation that we are obviously, the problem is, if you wait for all these 5 waves to complete, it might already be the completed C wave. That's why I like the pullback trades. Yeah, these trade setups, 1-2 setup. And Elliott wave traders often trade the alternative count if reward and risk are favorable. I hope that's a lesson that helps to, or I hope this analysis helps to understand this lesson, in a more visual way, because even though for me, and it's still the preferred option at the moment, to get another low, that doesn't matter so much, because what really matters are the objective levels that are revealed by the analysis, like this one. And if price comes into this area, this might be another one. Yeah. So that's a great example of why it's so useful to have not just one scenario, but instead a couple, or maybe even three sometimes, which give you different pivot points which are tradable. A lot of people don't understand that, but that's really how it needs to be understood, because there is no crystal ball that's like from the dream world. There is only the analysis which reveals certain pivot points to which price will adhere to with a high likelihood. So so we need to be watching now that, I think that sort of area around 290 for the next decision. And if we then get a higher low in a fourth wave, could move up further in a fifth wave. At the moment, this view here, the upside, is valid and will probably continue to run as long as price doesn't break below 255. That's the invalidation point for this wave count now. Okay. So yeah, that's my update about Render. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.